Welcome to 2025, everybody.
Woo! We're only 18 days of missing recordings of 1 year so far.
Woo!
Not too bad. Not too bad.
No, not too bad in the slightest.
Did you
This
miss
year-
us? I doubt it, but
This year I have a resolution we got to make. We have to have one podcast out a week at least.
that's 52 episodes.
Yeah, we're definitely not gonna fail that one, right,
Right,
guys?
right,
No,
right.
totally not. But yeah, obviously for you, those of you who don't know, welcome to Reincarnated as a podcaster. The one, the only, the true.
One, the only, the original. I'm gonna do the ones out there with the same fucking name.
So I'm watching you.
The one, the only. And we're back. It's been a while. It's been a little bit of time.
In a fat minute.
Got 2 months, and then 3 months,
You
and then
know,
another 3 months.
Life happens. Vacation happens.
House burns down.
Life happens again.
Water.
Yeah.
And then I travel all the time.
Yeah.
Check us out at cons. We're all the way.
Yeah, if you
every
wanna meet us
con,
in real life. You'll meet Ford most likely.
I'll be there.
Yeah, normally he's there. But today, now that we're back, we're going to talk about something. I mean, we've talked about this multiple times as the different
Talked
seasons.
about, I think, every season
Yeah.
by itself.
I think starting from like 3 probably.
Okay. I'm trying to remember when our podcast started
was
to
probably
when
about
this
3.
show
Yeah,
started.
I think it was since like season 3. But today we were talking about Castlevania Nocturne, season 2.
First anime of 2025.
Sure.
First finished anime,
Yeah,
I
first
could
finished
probably
anime, yeah.
say. But is it really anime? Isn't it like Western like culture?
Blah, 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 blah,
you
blah.
know? Isn't it just a cartoon, guys?
Sure, probably.
My
yeah.
Chinese cartoons.
I mean, it all is, I
From
guess,
Korea.
technically. But Castlevania, this is season 2 of this second part.
Well, all I can say though is the end of season 1 is probably some of the best animation and fighting. When Alucard comes out of nowhere and stabs him. It's not a spoiler because we're talking about season 2. But either way,
That's a very good shot, though. And I do feel like this season has, feel like very, like, picture-worthy shots.
I think
the animation was top tier.
I think this is probably some of the best animation in a long time I've seen. That's not like your basic like
Yeah.
But like the whole time, it looks great.
yeah. Even like
It's
when
not
they're
like-
talking.
It's not like, oh, it only looks great during the fights.
Yes.
No. Even when just the conversations, it looks pretty great. It looks crisp.
Because it's not like your normal anime animation.
Well, yeah.
It's almost like a painting to me, or like
There's a few times where I think that it feels that way. There's a lot of shots where I'm like, oh, this
I know
is-
there's still shots that
Yeah,
are
yeah.
definitely like that.
You could get many wallpapers if you
Yes.
just press pause.
I do think the last 2 episodes is just if you hit play, pause, screenshot, you'll probably find amazing wallpaper there.
It's a very well-produced show.
Yeah.
Beautifully animated all the way through. It's absolutely gorgeous. So going into this, what you guys, other than what we just talked about, what you guys like about this season?
You know what I miss? I'll tell you. It's I miss the vampire goth baddies from like Eastern Europe or whatever, the ice ones.
Yeah.
I miss them.
Okay.
Didn't get any of that this season.
We got a lot
But
more.
we got other baddies.
I feel like this season we got a lot more Nightwalkers.
A lot more monsters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
the
what I feel. I
monsters
feel
and
like there's a lot more monsters this season than there was of like characters.
Yeah, I can see that.
You have like the main Edward when he turns into the Nightwalker. He's like one of the main ones, and you have this like French chick who died, and she'd become like some weird ice one.
Yeah.
I feel like they started following
the
like,
female Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Silver
yeah.
Surfer.
And then they had some of them back from last season that were just like, as soon as he started singing, they kind of went to his side.
Yeah.
They weren't like main characters, but I felt like there was a lot more of showing of that they have souls and ideas. Because the first show didn't feel like that. Like any of the demons that they made were just demons. There's like
No, from the
life.
original 4-season run, 4-season run.
Yeah.
Right.
I think maybe it was too on the nose, that the monsters also have souls, and then they have their own will or whatever, juxtaposing with the French Revolution, and the vampire baddies were like, "Oh, do what I say," and the monster's like, "But I want to do something else. I don't want to be just a monster," type shit.
Yeah. I mean, they obviously had a theme that they wanted to go, and there's parallels, right?
Yeah, they're like, fuck the rich. That's what they're saying.
Yes, exactly. And I mean, this has always been the parallel to what a creature or a monster or a thing of the night is, right? It represents the things we loathe, we fear, and just all these things culminated in one creature. And so it's very easy to draw parallels, especially when you think about one of the bloodiest times in history with a literal creature that feeds on blood, right?
Yeah.
Which I thought was a brilliant use of this, because obviously Rondo of Blood is not very particular on exactly when and where it takes place. It might be, I would have to remember, but it's probably like Transylvania, like every Castlevania normally is. But I do like that they do set it in the French Revolution, or that's the backdrop to this. It just makes it fun. It's fun to me.
Yeah.
It was.
Like the setting's interesting too, because like this is also when you get into like firearm weapons and stuff.
Yeah.
Where you're not just, trying to fight these goddamn vampires with your bows and swords.
I did like that fight scene where the dude's trying to fucking reload his musket and then he gets murked.
Yeah. I don't know. It felt weird because it's like you have all this stuff, and I guess it's just normal, like the supernatural stuff in this world. But it's, to me, the funny scene was like they bring this god back. Like, won't spoil what happened yet, but it's like they bring this god back. You have Alucard, and then you have just Richter, a normal man. And the god's floating behind them. You got a guy with a sword that floats, pure white. And then you got a normal guy, and they're just like walking downtown while their army's walking the other way. And you're like, if I saw that in real life, I'd be like, I don't know what's going on over there, but I'm going that way.
I did feel that Richter fell into like a side character type role in this season.
This season felt like that.
You barely saw him until the end.
Until all the fight scenes. I feel like he came out every fight scene, and then anytime they needed romance.
Yeah.
And this is just me looking at it. I feel what they wanted to do with his character, they did last season.
Yeah.
And so this season, he's almost like, well, I'm this fulfilled character already. I went through this growth last season. I went through all this pain.
All my
I've
powers.
already awakened.
Yeah, exactly. So now they're focusing on everybody else kind of meeting that. Because by the time he gets to the final fights, I mean, he knows he has his blue fire bullshit. And he does all the crazy things from the get-go in every single fight.
Yeah, he turns to Goku.
I think I would have liked it more if the main girl like powered up first.
Oh, okay.
And then all the side characters got stronger.
Yeah.
And then this was the end for him where he started to fight the bad guy and he gained the power during the last fights. Instead of it is endgame where he's at endgame and everybody else is still leveling up.
Yeah, still catching up.
Yeah, except for Alucard. Like
he's always end game.
He spawns in. You're like, show's over, guys.
He comes pre-packaged as the built character. I mean, in this show, obviously too, because I feel like everything they wanted to do with Alucard's character and his growth, they did in the previous season.
But I think they hinted towards something else at the end, and I feel like he has more growth to do.
Yeah,
I think
he has another arc in him.
Yes,
I feel it.
I don't want to get too far at the end yet because I have some questions on future stuff, but I don't want to get there yet. But go ahead.
I mean, so it's very interesting. This show to me has a problem that so many shows do now, and I think I've said this on a few things. Like it wants to do too much,
too many characters.
It did too much.
Yeah, it did too much. And I feel like shows would work so much better if they were more like hyper focused on certain things, because it's not like the themes are bad, right? It's not like you can't have all these ideas, the ancient idea of what makes a monster and what makes a person, right?
Yeah.
Right. Where's this distinction or the stigmas of like religious zealotry or what does it mean to be a revolutionary or to do these things and become a monster and spilling blood in the name of doing good, right? There's so many things you can do here, and I feel like it would be better served with fewer characters than when you have these just giant ensemble casts.
Because that was my issue with this last season. There's too many people because you have the three main characters, the two girls. I don't remember everyone's name.
Maria and Annette.
Yeah. And then you have Richter.
Yes.
And then Alucard came, but he didn't really grow. Not much was talked about him, so it was fine.
It's Alucard.
So I think he was fine. He just shows up for the big fight scenes.
Yes.
And calms everyone down.
You have Maria's mother.
Yep.
You have Juiced.
Then you have Maria's father.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Then you have Juiced, and then you have
Which one's that one?
He's the Belmont, the older
The
Belmont,
other Belmont.
Richter's grandfather.
Then you have the evil lady, the main evil
two.
lady, and then you have the other main, the second evil lady who somehow gains a power at the end.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make sense to me, but we'll get to that in the future.
Well, I don't know. I feel like she's the true. Like
Yeah,
this
but
season makes it very clear that she's like the actual one.
Yeah, but it felt like it came too late, but I don't want to get there right now.
Yeah.
You still
Obviously
have
the monsters.
the monster.
Oh, the monster has their own set.
The opera dude.
Yep,
yeah.
Edward. So that's 11 right there.
Warlocks. That's like a little
Warlocks
with the monk.
with the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
With
the
the
And the
Aztec
monk, yeah.
vampire.
That's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
13, and then you had the god that takes over
Yeah,
the main
Sekhmet.
girl.
Yeah.
So you have 14 characters.
Well, I mean, for me, the god's more of a MacGuffin than not.
Well, 13.
They're not really
Yeah.
characters.
I'd say
really.
Richter
Yeah.
didn't count.
Okay, yeah, because I also took Alucard out. So yeah, 13.
Yeah.
13 characters of story.
And I just feel like, because I feel like shows fall into this pitfall of where you make all these characters, like in the beginning, you set these characters up, and then you feel like all of them deserve their spotlight. And to a certain degree, that may be true, but I feel like every character should always serve your purpose of like whatever, like pushing whatever your theme is, right?
Yeah.
Pushing your idea forward.
Because I feel like one of the characters that we said, the other Belmont, Juiced. I feel like they didn't do much with him, which was, I think, perfect for
fine.
what
Yeah.
we needed.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to add characters like that, that's what I want. I want someone that comes in, does their thing, and then just helps.
Because I always believed in these kind of things are always better served when you have a small cast of main characters, which in this case, in this season, I would argue would just be Maria, Annette, and Richter.
Yeah.
If like that would be your main, and then a primary antagonist.
Yeah.
In this case, it's two, which is fine, but they embody the same thing.
Yeah, they want the same exact
Yeah, it's
task.
the same thing. And you have your antagonist, and I feel like you're better serving every other character. Sole existence should be to support that primary cast in one way, shape, or form.
My one of my main issues is I like Marie. Like, I love her character.
Yes.
I love her arcs.
Yes.
I think they shafted her on some of it. It
Yeah.
felt too fast.
Oh, in this one, yeah. That's
Like when spoilers from here on in at this point.
Yeah.
We're just gonna start talking about it. When she kills the father, I felt like that kind of came out of nowhere. Like, I
Yeah.
understand the mother was pushing her to do some of the
Yeah,
more
yeah,
darker
yeah.
stuff, but I felt like in her character from season 1 didn't make sense why she went that dark that quickly.
Well, I think she feels guilty that the reason her mother got turned into a vampire is because she helped her father
Yeah.
do all that bullshit in the first season, and then the outcome of that was her losing her mother.
Yeah.
So I think like that self guilt, you just like
I think that's just the tipping point. I mean, because Maria, as well as I guess the two main heroines, right,
Yeah.
are very angry characters. Like
Oh, yeah.
they're coming and their motives are all fueled by anger,
Yeah.
in some way, shape, or form. And so for her, that like it's just that tipping point, right? That's what the straw that broke the camel's back, right?
But like instantly she goes evil in my brain. Then she does the deed,
Yeah.
and then she goes good.
Because
there's no redemption
because
either
I don't
for
because
her.
I don't think it's like a question of like switching to. I think it's just a crime of passion.
Yeah, she killed because she went like eyes of red. Like,
Yeah,
there's no more
so
than
that's
her
why I
passion.
don't really feel that way. Where it's like, oh, she suddenly flipped on the alignment scale, right?
Yeah.
Or this. It's just like, oh, you have so much repressed anger and so much
Needs to blow
resentment,
it out.
yeah, to the idea or what this person embodies.
Yeah.
And then you were just given a gun, and then now
I think it was necessary for her because she did that, right? She let all her
yes,
Anger
out,
yeah.
which helped her, like I guess, take over that anger and put it into something positive. So you know how she at the end she was fucking summoning dragons and shit.
Yeah. Which she could have done probably beforehand. It was just because her
Well,
anger side
yeah.
was
Well,
summoning
now that
angry
she-
dragons
Yeah.
instead of happy dragons.
So now that she harnessed that anger into
Yeah.
something else, I feel that was like the end of her arc. Like,
Yeah.
she grew, she overcame this anger issues that she had, and now which is New Maria.
And but the other thing too is as we progress, because if this is like the last season of whatever this is of like Nocturne, right? Before we move on to whatever future arcs there is, I don't mind this if like in trilogies so much, because the middle is always messy when you split things, but and I don't mind them bringing things together at the end of the season like they did in her. So maybe I don't hate it as much, but I do always kind of hate when the main cast is split for long periods of time, because you're inviting all these other characters, you're inviting distractions that I don't always feel like serve the story well.
And then you spread it out too.
Yeah.
It's not like one episode's this. It's like, here's 20 minutes or 5 minutes, then 5 minutes, then another character 5 minutes, and then here's a side character.
And now that I think about it, it's not. I don't think the two main branches are bad.
No, they come together pretty clean.
Like, Maria with Juiced and her mom.
Yeah.
And Richter with Alucard and Annette are fine.
Yeah.
I feel like those stories can come together, and I didn't mind it. I didn't care for like the night monsters. That's the one to me. I
think it's a good idea. Like, I like the premise, but it didn't need to be in this season.
No, that's the thing. I feel like it's very distracting. I mean, as horrible as it is, I feel like the original purpose of Edward's character dying is for character growth, which is it's not the best always either. I feel like sometimes it's a cheap way to achieve that in a story. But that was what he was.
To be fair, it's easy also because it's a show about things dying constantly.
Exactly. So him in the first season,
like Game of Thrones, like everything dies that you see on the screen. So it makes sense.
So him dying in the first season to promote their growth, I understand why it's there.
I think bringing it back
it's
was
a very
the
simple
bad
trope.
idea, in my opinion.
And I don't think I would have minded it if it didn't feel so disconnected from everything else.
Because like that story arc also, like I understand how it finished and where it was at the end, but they built up this whole story about like all these monsters have souls, they have their own minds, they can change.
It didn't really end it.
They changed at the end, but it was like for a 5-second fight scene to stop people. It's like having the fucking troops from the Revolution there. They were just there to have bodies to slow things down.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you did this whole big story arc to just have bodies to slow things down. That's what it felt like. Yeah. If you just threw that away as like a nonsense line, like, oh, some of them changed, I'd be like, sure.
I feel like their payoff isn't like very substantial.
No.
Right? Like when you get to the end of their story and they rebel against the vampires or whatever because they have a soul, it doesn't feel very impactful.
To me, it literally did nothing.
Yeah.
It probably slowed down things, like on the evil side, but not enough that, Alucard could have just probably wiped out that group of monsters in, 2 swings and we move on.
Yeah, and I always felt like, every time they would go to that, like every time it would move to their story, it would kill momentum with the others. Other stories, because that one didn't have any momentum. There's no real
going anywhere.
Yeah, there's no real driving force. And I mean, if you wanted the excuse to have like your hired opera singer to sing all these like cool eerie tunes for these scenes.
Well, I feel like if they were gonna go to that theme or all that trouble, to just focus on that guy. Yeah. At the end of the day, it was his growth or coming to terms with certain things in his story. So I wish they would just focus just on him rather than a whole monster group as a whole.
Yeah. Because they added like something like the one lady at the end. I don't know what she did. She shot ice out of her hands. She's the only one I knew had the different powers. And I bite people, and I have 12 hands, and I rip people in half, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's just like, why are you adding all these like nonsense things? And I was expecting like, I don't know, maybe they pay off at the end and they throw their bodies at the creature to save some of the main characters, and it just didn't do any of that.
Well, to me, it ended with the opera guy when he's going to Saint Domingue or whatever, right? Back to his home country, and she's like, "Don't worry, everyone will still like you, even though you're a monster." I'm like, "Cool."
No, that's not how that.
I don't know about that, but okay.
Like I can handle most people, but if I saw a monster walking in my streets, I'd be like,
"Oh, did you see that guy at the boat? He's walking up, and he's like, what the fuck?"
Do we allow that? Do we kill that man? Like I thought they were evil. Yeah, it's like. No, he's fine. He just sings.
I'm sure there's an allegory there, an allegory there somewhere.
Oh, well, there's definitely.
Maybe I'm small brained. You know?
I mean, I'm sure there's one there, and it's not very deep. You don't have to dig very far to find it.
Maybe the whole arc just went over my head.
Yeah, like
maybe I need to rewatch it.
Like you don't have to dig very deep to find it, and that's fine. And if like I said, if that's what you want, it's hunky dory.
I agree with Bob. I think it should have been just on him.
Yeah.
Maybe he did something like his singing gave people like a morale boost or something at the last fight. Yeah, he's a bard. He just sends words of encouragement out there.
Dude, like, he has his Luna Snow moment.
But I think with all that time wasted, they could have added it to like some of the other main-ish characters. Like I think Maria's story could have been longer, or Juice could have had more like screen time.
I didn't mind. I was okay with where he was at.
I think he was fine, but it was just, to me, his character was also just there to do magic.
Well, he's a supporting character. It's what he is. That's what he's meant to do, and that's fine.
Yeah, but I feel like if you're doing all this stuff for these other supporting characters, I'd rather him have more screen time as a supporting character than all these random
The other one that, I mean, I didn't mind because it didn't really take that much out of it, honestly, was Orlok and Mizrak. Mizrak is his name.
I thought his stuff was fine.
They're fine.
He was goated.
He was.
Super powerful. But I liked his story. It just wasn't anything crazy.
It's not over yet.
What?
I don't think so. I don't think it
That's
is.
definitely not over yet.
It'll probably keep going, and that's fine.
Because, like, it's spoiled the ending, obviously. They all survive, like the main characters. But I do think that we'll have Orlok and the other guy will be back with fighting probably the death type of guy. I don't know who he was fully.
Mephistopheles.
Yeah.
Mephistopheles?
That guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he called him. It's a demon. It's the devil.
Yeah.
It's just another name for it.
But then I also think I can almost see next season being with Marie and Juiced, because of them seeing the monster. It's part of her mother, too, it seemed like it was attached to.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I can see them at least bringing Marie back. And then I don't know if they're going to have like own side thing or if they'll have any Beaumonts even in it.
I think it's going to be an Alucard solo story.
I'd love that.
I mean, it's not unprecedented.
Or it's going to be Alucard with Maria and Juice.
I mean, because technically the story immediately following Rondo of Blood is Symphony of the Night.
Spoilers.
In the games.
Spoilers.
I mean, this didn't follow Rondo of Blood anyway.
Not even close.
Other than character mentions and names, it didn't follow it at all. So,
you know what else also cool? When a Ned reached the Avatar state. That was cool.
Dude, I loved the Avatar season 4. It was really good. I didn't really care for her arc fully either, to be honest with you. It was okay.
Yeah.
I think there was just a lot of weird stuff going on that bounced back and forth with like, I can see these. I won't say anything. I'm going crazy.
They're telling me things, but I don't know what they're saying.
Because like season 1, I know she talked about like she could go through, I forgot what they called it, like the ghost realm spirit realm. And like they never did anything with it until this ending. And it was just like, oh, I forgot about that. And then it felt weird.
This shit happens, and then she becomes
like,
the Avatar.
But also, isn't her spirit realm, was she Egyptian?
No, so it's generalized, right? Obviously, a lot of the inspirations come from like either Haitian or like Creole mythologies, which have their basis in African ones. Yeah, obviously,
that's what I thought basically.
Yeah. So and they're just pulling from that. Even like the dude that comes with the hat with like the death god basically, right, with like the candles and stuff.
The one that walks him through the portal.
Yeah, comes from that. That's where it stems from. And so in this world and the way it works, you can tell they're obviously melding together all these different ideas and stuff. I mean, just look at Orlok. Yeah. Dude's Aztec. He's a flying feathered serpent.
Yeah, that shit was dope.
Yeah, it's dope for shit. But and there's the combination of this. So it's not necessarily that she is Egyptian. The fact is that all the dead run through this combined spirit world that's probably touched upon in many different folklores and mythologies, and it just guides them to that same point.
The picture of the death god, basically, he was like the opener
Yes.
or the portal to Egypt. Death gods. They're just like, here, you come this way.
Yeah, where and that is why they're like, oh, her soul resides in this very specific place of the spirit world.
Yeah, I think it would have been better if instead of doing like an Egyptian god that they were doing, to do like a Haitian god for the powers, because I think it would have made more sense, at least in my logic.
Yeah.
Where at least you'd have like the same religion like ties together.
Yeah.
Instead of having like, yeah, she's gonna go here, then go to Egypt and like mythos.
I mean, I didn't mind it very much, especially when something is so like mixed, such a mixed bag as this as this already is.
Yeah.
And obviously, you pick an Egyptian like deity because it's old.
Oh yeah.
Because it is the oldest you'll find. Right? Because, I mean, I'm sure a lot of old, like, African mythoses and stuff is probably just as old, but, like...
Lesser known.
It's lesser known, and there just isn't records and stuff of it, right? Yeah. So if you really want something easy to pull from, you either go your Assyrian Babylon, which not a lot of people are very well-versed in, because that would be your oldest as far as records are concerned. But Egyptian's your next closest thing. And everyone recognizes it. Everyone gets the imagery. Yeah. It's very... And it also makes a lot of sense that a mummy would be at what is later the Louvre in France. If you want to put your MacGuffin there, it makes a lot of sense historically for that to be the case over other locations.
I think Europe, like England, makes more sense. That's where everything is.
That's not until later, though.
Yeah, I know. But it makes more sense.
Yeah, you don't see that until after this period that we're in at the moment.
Wait, so they started stealing stuff after the revolution? Crazy. I thought it was before.
Well, I mean, they kind of did before, but they don't really touch, your ethnically diverse places until they become a full-fledged empire. So,
can't wait for Orlok versus Richter final showdown.
Final showdown.
I don't think we'll ever see that.
You think so?
No. He's gone. They went two separate directions.
He went with his boyfriend somewhere across the world.
His vampire boyfriend.
He
turned into a vampire.
Oh, shit.
That'd be dope.
That's where they're from.
They're from New Spain.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's New Spangland.
New Spangland.
Maybe he helps the reason why they become Mexico.
Oh, shit.
Fights in the independence.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
Can't wait for season 12.
What I think is so funny, what I think is very funny when you look at this specifically, when you're picking this very specific time, right? Is you pick the French Revolution and you have it go through this and you're like, oh, the revolutionaries and we're fighting with them, and at the end of it you're like, oh, they won, right? They beat this big evil this thing, right? This like thing that came and they're the aristocracy and they do this and everything's hunky-dory and Maria's like, I'm going to keep fighting with the revolutionaries and this is cool and this is a great idea, but then historically it doesn't pan out that way.
Yeah. That's normally how it works.
Because immediately after this you get Napoleon.
Yeah.
And then you also get a reinstatement of the monarchy after Napoleon.
Wait, so you're telling me when you bring down a monarchy, the next group becomes a monarchy?
Oh, wow.
What? Crazy.
But then after all this, eventually it does become the democracy that it becomes, right?
Yeah, after like 2,000 years, it basically feels like
it's like a century, maybe a century after.
Alucard's still alive.
He is. Oh, it's like maybe like 50, 60 years. But
my favorite joke for that was when she was like, Alucard, you want to help me fight the revolution? I'm like, nah, that's fucked up. That's unfair. Imagine him on your side. He fights 300 people just himself.
and it's a very interesting to me when you see that, or like you see someone like Robespierre that's there, right? Who obviously was, one of the principal instigators of the French Revolution, who eventually gets killed by the guillotine anyway.
Spoilers.
Because there's infighting. This is historical. It's there. It's a historical fact.
Yeah, you read ahead. We understand.
Yeah, it's a historical fact that happens.
We're watching this shit, and he shows up, and like he's gonna die soon. We're like, whoa.
Well, he doesn't die in the show, but historically, he does die soon.
Let us watch the show, Eddie. Stop spoiling it just because you read ahead on a show that doesn't even have a book. We get it. We get it.
He read the manga.
He wrote the manga.
This is just funny. It's just. That's why I do like when they bring these characters from different places, because historically so many different groups went through so many similar things.
Oh, yeah.
And it's very easy to attribute the idea, especially the old idea of vampirism, or at least semi-old, because it's not quite folkloric, but immediately after. Like that idea of the aristocracy being bloodsuckers, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, bathe in blood and all that stuff at that time. Virgin blood normally.
What is this is a fun one to me, which I think is an interesting choice that they did this, because I'm pretty sure they're the same personage historically. So in the season before, you had Carmilla, right, who was there, and in this one you have Elizabeth Bathory, which historically are the same person.
What?
Just different names for different locations.
Interesting.
It's the same. It's the same historical figure.
Didn't you play Fate, Bob? Fate Go?
Yeah.
Carmilla?
Dude, do you think I read?
You don't have to read. It's the character you pull.
And it's interesting because that's always the other person that is always brought into like the talk of vampirism after Dracula.
Yeah.
If we're talking about historical figures.
Because it's demonic what she did.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked.
Demonic.
Is it fucked?
Just killing virgins and bathing in their blood.
Because you thought it made you look younger.
Did it?
She looked pretty good in the
Probably
show.
looked pretty good at the time, I'm guessing.
She turned into She-Ra in the show, but you know.
She obviously thought it worked.
I did like the... Oh, God.
I was like, think people were lying to her. Like, oh yeah, you look great.
A little more
don't
blood
kill
next
me.
time. A little more blood. I do think it's interesting of her power-ups. Like, it was the blood of the god, then the heart of the god. And then the soul of the god went to the other person, but, you know, it's fine. But I do like the idea of, like, having those as her... like scaling, I guess is the best way to say it.
Yeah. So she's also growing as well as the hero.
Which I think is nice because it's like you don't have a boss that's just like, this is his moveset basically.
Yes.
He's super powerful already. It was like, nah, he was powerful last season, but you were almost there. And now you powered up, but they super powered up.
Well, I mean, and that's just traditional power scaling in that sense, right?
Yeah.
I do
I don't feel like
enjoy
you see that in shows much though.
I do enjoy in the series how, especially in this one. I mean, the other one, Dracula's Dracula, and he's you know he's the big
He
bad.
spawns as powerful as he can be.
I do like an antagonist that is there, that is present from the beginning. That they're always in the hero's way from the get-go.
Anything they're trying to do, they're there.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like that is the better story, and the way their stories intertwine makes it better that way. And so I did like Elizabeth Bathory as this person, and obviously, you know, the woman pulling the strings in the back, and she's fine. The only thing in her arc that seems very strange to me, and interesting, is
Turned into She-Ra?
no.
It's me?
No.
Thought that was weird? Okay.
Where you have, I don't remember her name, starts with D, the priestess, right? Where she technically dies. She's technically dead, right? At the beginning, at the end of last season, right?
She gets killed by Alucard.
She's Dunzo's. Alucard kills her, and then she's revived, and she becomes this bad bitch, right?
I do have a memory question for you.
Yes.
My brain always thought when the vampires were killed in this show, they turned to dust. Was that just something I made up in my head?
I think.
Or is that just another...
That
I know it's a
different
myth.
show.
No, it's how it depends on how they died.
Is it?
Yes.
Is it by the sun?
If it's by the sun, they turn ash.
I thought even when they got stabbed, they turned into. Like,
I don't think that.
dust.
I don't think that was always the case. They turned to dust.
That's why I don't remember. My brain remembers that, but I just don't know why.
The ones I know did would be ones that like Trevor blew up with
Well,
his weird
fire when
explosive.
you
magic
explode
thing.
someone, they normally
it was
turn
like
to dust.
it was like what his holy whip.
Yeah, his holy whip made them explode into dust.
I know sometimes they get decapitated, but in my brain, they always like after the fight scene, they kind of just.
I think it's when like the sun,
Dustify.
like when the sun touches them
Maybe.
after they've been killed, that they dustify.
I don't know. She died basically in the sun.
No, I'm pretty sure she dies at night.
They did burn vampire bodies at the end.
Oh, it wasn't at night. It was what's it called? Eclipse.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, and then they pull her body back before the sun would touch her, so she's probably.
Yeah. Okay, maybe that's what it is.
It's just it's funny when you get into the season, and it's interesting to me the choice of being like, if this is probably the idea from the get-go, but if she would be the person that was pulling all the strings, I feel like it is a choice that she did die. like what's the
I guess.
what's the plan, right? What's the plan if she didn't come back?
Like from
Like,
her
what's the
side?
play?
From
Yeah,
her-
yeah. Like, what's the play? You know what?
I didn't like that part, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like I liked her coming back. I
Yeah.
thought that was a great idea. She powered up.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, yeah.
Move on. You know, she became a hell beast vampire with her own soul.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
that's cool. Good. We'll,
Yeah, yeah.
we'll go with that. Why don't they just do that with every vampire?
No one thought about it.
No. I understand that.
Oh,
They did that?
from this point
yes.
onwards.
I'd been like, yo, kill me. We're going. I'm leveling up, baby.
It's because they killed the Forge Master.
No, but he was still around.
He's still alive for a bit before this happens. Like after this happens, you know.
Also, is the Forge over because the Forge Master died? Because it seemed like it was automated and he wasn't doing much like old school. Because like the old way, they would have to hammer.
Factory and shit.
Well, yeah, because the old way they'd have to hammer to do the spell. This time it looked like went like.
I think someone has to officiate the magic.
Okay.
Is the way it works, because from what I have understood, right,
Yeah.
from the way this thing worked, is you have a Forge Master that makes a pact with the devil, right, and it gives him the power to bring these hell beasts out of hell. In whatever form that takes, whether it's by giant machine,
hammering your hammer on a piece of rock, and
or in a
summon
person.
something.
And I feel like the moment that Orlok came and burnt that book in the thing, it's over. It doesn't do what it was supposed to do.
But is it the guy, like, say if Bob sacrificed his soul to get that power and not kill him?
Yes.
But we have the book and we have the machine.
Someone else makes the pact.
So they have to make a pact still. That's what it is.
It's because
that's what I was wondering. I'm like, is it the item that's making
I
the thing,
don't know if
or
that's,
is it the?
I don't know if that's the inspiration and thing. I don't know if they thought about it.
I don't know if they explained
but
it
traditionally, like if you're looking at old arcane traditions, it's a give and take. Yeah, it's a give and take, right?
Yeah, you're a warlock, basically.
Yeah, you're given something to get something. You know.
They have the power, but they don't have the permission yet. So probably they still have to make.
Like they have the item, but they haven't, attuned to it. Basically.
Yeah.
Until
terms. Yeah.
Okay, because that's what the only thing I was like. Could they still? No, because didn't the Hell Beasts bring people back after?
No.
Yes, they did.
Could the soldiers returned before he dies, and that's the last time they did it.
I thought the monsters were doing it without him there, because he's like, "This is the army we need," and he wasn't talking to the Forge Master. He was talking to the other girl.
But he's still alive while the other chick is doing all of the
You're telling me
the
that the
monster
Forge
making.
Master was fine with the monsters making an army of monsters.
Well, I don't think it's a question of whether he likes it or not. I think it's just something he has, and he's imbued into this machine. And as long as his soul is walking around the planet,
so other people can do it.
yes,
If he's alive.
yes.
That doesn't make sense to me. Sure, we'll just move on.
Maybe,
It's one part that doesn't make
I don't
sense
know.
right
Maybe
here.
I don't know how it works.
'Cause I remember the monsters were brought back soldiers. They were like, "Hey, we're gonna make our own army." I'm like, "What?" Okay.
I don't think the monsters did
the
that.
The French soldiers made their own army.
Yeah.
What?
Because remember when they were trying to it was at the end when they were trying to go against the main girl.
Yeah.
They had we need some people, and there wasn't even soldiers. They picked up villagers.
And they made them monsters?
I'm pretty sure. I'll
I
find
don't-
out.
I
I
thought
don't
it was
remember
already
this.
existing
No.
monsters.
Yeah, I don't remember this.
They're like, guys, help us out.
Because I thought
Anyway, I'll find it.
no one uses the machine after Orlok burns the book.
I'll find it. I could be just totally
That's
wrong.
season 1?
Huh?
No.
No,
It's at the end.
that'd be here. That'd be in this season.
Oh. Shit, I don't know. Cut.
So we can talk about other things.
What was your favorite fight?
The end fight.
Why was
Like
it
the very final.
Nah, episode 7.
Episode 7.
Episode 7.
What was episode 7 on?
Remind
me.
Before she sucks up the soul of the other vampire, and she's like ultimate vampire.
Oh, that one is very good.
That's pretty good.
That one is actually very good.
Yeah.
I think I do like that one more than the final fight.
The final fight, it was epic, but it wasn't awesome.
Yeah, the one before that I think is better
Yeah.
with the dragon. And
Yeah.
Oh, that is the best fight.
Now it's just
I do
dope.
think the best screenshot though is Alucard. Not Alucard. Richter.
His Excalibur.
Well, the Excalibur
That was
one was
good.
real
Yeah.
good.
That is very good.
But it was before he had the full sword. It was just him with the fist. But it was when he stood up, and it was like a cut shot from here to here,
Oh,
It's
yeah,
just like
yeah, yeah.
hand-drawn
Uh-huh.
sketch look
yeah.
like. I was like, oh, it's so clean.
That was a very good shot. I do like the Moonlight Greatsword that he whipped out of there.
She was dope.
He didn't even have to marry anybody. That's just bullshit. You know how many like missions I have to do to get the sword? It's so
you
bullshit.
get the sword, Forrest.
But if you think about it, he did do many side quests.
That's
to
true.
get
It's
here.
true.
He also killed monsters, because sometimes that's how you get it. I don't remember how you get in every game, because the only two that I like for sure in my head I know is obviously Bloodborne, because I love that game, and Elden Ring.
I've only gotten in Elden Ring and Dark Souls 3.
Where do you get in Dark Souls 3?
You have to go through this like this soldier you find, and she's like married to somebody, but then he
Oh.
turns crazy and he dies while you kill him, and then you're like, oh, I don't know where he is.
Which game do you fight the wolf with the sword in its mouth?
2?
Oh, that's 2.
I think it's 2. Yeah,
Because that's where you get the great sword in that one, isn't it?
probably.
Because I
haven't
think
played
that's
it.
what the one the wolf has in its mouth.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't
I don't remember. The Bloodborne one's amazing because that's one of my absolute favorite boss fights. Because you get it from killing Ludwig, the unholy blade. Ludwig. But yeah, there's a lot of
Dude,
parallels to this to like Bloodborne.
Dude, I was scared when I thought Alucard died.
Oh,
Oh my
Because
god.
she stabbed him with his
Yeah.
sword in the heart. I'm like, it's over. They kill
GG.
Alucard.
why would they do this?
Yeah, what they do to my boy? My Shayla.
But no.
But no, he lived. He lives.
So my wonder, right? I am wondering where they're gonna take this from here, right?
You think this is gonna be season 4, or is it gonna be Castlevania, whatever?
I think they're gonna separate it. I think they're gonna follow probably Symphony, but I think they might. I don't know,
'Cause-
because it's obviously they're gonna go with the death stuff, and
I don't think there's a way that you make this show and not do Symphony of the Night in some way, shape, or form.
What do you think is gonna be Castlevania Symphony of the Night? Is it gonna be Nocturne season?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how they're
3?
gonna. Well, it's interesting because I mean, the first 3-4 seasons are technically it covers 2 games worth of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The first 2 seasons obviously cover Castlevania 3.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one it covers, and then the following sequel, the following seasons, very loosely, like very very loosely, cover the N64 Castlevania, where you play as Hector, I think is his name, the Forge Master.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're fighting Isaac.
Huh?
It's not a great game, but
Do you think they'll do an arc when, they participate in a battle royale game?
I think that's in Fortnite.
Squid Game arc.
Oh, my God.
But
If I see that Squid Game commercial on Netflix, I'm gonna shoot myself
the COD one.
in Minecraft. Yes, God.
No, I was waiting for the Smash arc.
Oh Lord! Oh, dude, that you know how sad I was that Alucard isn't a playable character in Smash Bros. It makes me like I like having Simon and Richter. I wish they were better, but I like having Simon and Richter there. That did make me very happy. But I really wish Alucard would have been one.
I mean, if you squint,
I mean, he's a trophy, I guess.
what's that dude? That's kind of similar. Am I making shit up?
You're probably making shit.
I'm
up.
making shit up.
Yeah, you're making shit up.
I was thinking of Final Fantasy VII.
Sephiroth.
Yeah, that guy. He's on Smash, is he?
Yeah, he is.
He is.
Yeah,
See,
Sephiroth
if you
is,
squint, dude, that's
that's
him.
Alucard.
That's him.
But I do think it'd be interesting to see how they would transition to that if that is the way they're going about it, right? So obviously, you know, we loosely adapt Rondo of Blood. That's why you have Alucard here, because Alucard and Richter are very good friends, and that friendship is what cements, the relationship going into Symphony of the Night.
Yeah.
Because the whole reason you play as Alucard in that anyway is because you're trying to save Richter.
Oh. What was Richter?
He gets possessed by Dracula
What the fuck?
after defeating him.
He gets brought back.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's why it also takes place in Dracula's castle.
So going back to the monster thing, I'm on episode 6.
Okay.
And it's when they're dragging all the bodies from the. They're not even, what's it called? Warriors. They're just like people.
They're just dead people. They kill
This
them.
is the mission
this
for
is
your
from
invasion
the-
from the army. This is after.
This is after they killed the dude.
Way after.
Yeah.
'Cause that was episode 4. This is episode 6 when they were talking about.
Maybe they used the machine.
So that's why I was confused. I'm like, I remember seeing that scene and being like, the master is dead. They don't show them using the machine, but they were talking about the bodies and stuff. So I don't know. Maybe maybe I misunderstood that scene. And then if that's not what that scene means, then I don't know why it's there. It seems very useless. But either way, sorry, just throw it.
No, that's
throw
fine.
away stuff.
Interesting. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see if that's the route they go with.
I don't know. I hope they go Symphony because I'd love a whole thing of just.
And that works perfectly with the way it's split.
Yeah.
So in Symphony of the Night, you play as Alucard, but depending on how you, I think it's either on a restart, but there's a secret character.
No.
A secret character is Maria.
Yeah.
So it works. Like you could have both of them doing this thing, right?
Because I think Richter's done.
Yeah.
We'll never see those two characters ever again.
I think
maybe.
I mean, if they do Symphony, you'll see him.
Yeah.
But he won't be
like the main
character that he was.
He's gonna be like the background character, like he was in this season.
Yeah, he's already prepped, dude. He was the background character already.
We prepped him for that.
Yeah. Or he just becomes kind of like the possessed villain. Like
when did the first season of Nocturne come out? Was it last year? Like exactly a year ago?
No, it was like
2 years ago.
2 years ago. So you're telling
year
me,
and a half, maybe.
You're telling me we have to wait a year and a half.
Yeah, they haven't even announced
anything. So
I know, but I feel like this is like Netflix more like lucrative animating show.
Well, one of many. I think I by numbers, Netflix is.
I'd argue
they've earned quite a bit on animation.
Yeah,
if I remember right.
The Castlevania series already has 4 seasons already, right? 5,
6 maybe.
6.
Well, the original one's 4.
Oh, what the fuck? Yeah, 46 seasons.
It came out in 23.
Of Castlevania already, so.
I mean, the first season is just 4 episodes, but
It came out in 23.
We take it.
There are 6 seasons of Castlevania.
I know
But they are all brilliantly animated. I am a sucker for this type of story.
Throw money at it.
Or like this aesthetic of story.
Dude, I hate. I was reading, like, Netflix made us cut X scenes from like Arcane or whatever. I'm like, why? This would have been so good.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
We'll have to get into.
It looks so good too.
Wow. So before we end, it says I'm on what'sonnetflix.com, so I don't know how trusted service this is. But it says it's going to take a big number from Castlevania Nocturne to get renewed for season 3. So it hasn't been fully announced yet.
Of course.
I mean, it did just come out a couple days ago.
Yeah. But it'll be interesting to see if they do a season 3 or just do a whole nother set. I think it'll be a whole nother set. I think Nocturne is basically done because you killed the main person.
Yeah.
You finished that story, basically.
Yeah, that arc's done. And then I can see another 2 seasons for the next arc, if not more.
And then the thing is, after that, I don't know what else you would do. There's nothing really. It's either
the original stuff would be nice.
Yeah,
too.
it's either you go back to 1 and 2 and do Simon.
Yeah.
Right. You go like way fucking back there, or you do like the Game Boy Advance ones, the really anime ones.
Yeah.
The super anime ones where
Those are
they're
my favorite,
where they're
to be fair.
Japanese.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and they take place in the modern day.
Interesting. I mean, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and those are fun games. They're cool. They're cool stories. So
They're moving forward in time.
So I mean, if you want to do Symphony, because I feel like it's such a waste. It's such a waste not to do Symphony of the Night.
You're gonna jinx it, Eddie.
Because it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna get.
No. If it happens, it's gonna be shit.
It's gonna be shit. Yeah. Because if I remember correctly, that is like the most popular game in that series.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's a big risk to make it and then be shit.
I mean, so far it's been pretty good.
I think the show's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my favorite animations just threw on Netflix, period.
Yeah. It keeps
It's
getting
awesome.
better and better.
I think this season was the best for animation. By far.
I agree.
Like the fight scenes were crazy. Even the basic scenes where they're just going through crazy areas, it's just like, oh, that's pretty.
It's very nice.
It's
very well done.
It's made with love.
Yeah.
Yes.
What would you rank it? Rate it. I rank it.
I'm trying to think what I rated season 1.
I don't remember. I never care. Just go off my vibes.
3.9.
8.9.
I was just gonna say 8. Yeah, an 8.
I'll split between you two. 8.45.
I was gonna say an 8. I enjoyed it quite a bit, but
I said there's a couple issues.
Couple little gripes.
I liked it overall. There's parts where I kind of really didn't care for it. I mean, that's just personal opinion. So
Yeah. But I think that's like, if you like fighting, the season has a lot of it. If you like some interesting story arcs that felt like they went nowhere,
if you don't
there's some of that.
fully pay attention, 10 out of 10.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But even if you did, it's not bad.
No.
Like there's nothing super egregious. I mean, I do like the characters overall.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's decent. It's an 8. It's good. It's very good.
Very good.
I would watch it. Consider it, watchable.
Would watch again.
Would watch again.
If
Yeah,
you've
it was
never seen
any of
Castlevania
the Castlevania.
and you're watching this, why are you here?
You
Go
crazy.
watch
Go
that.
watch all of it. All of it from the beginning. Do it.
I
Binge
might do
watch
that
it, bro.
myself.
It takes 4 hours.
The season does.
Yeah. Just this season.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like,
That's a weekend, dude. You could probably watch all of it in a weekend.
you walking it in one day.
Like
If you really wanted to.
like we used to do for 12 episode. If you were one of those people that could watch 12 episode animes in a day, you could do the show in a
If
day.
you're an unemployed 18-year-old, bro, easy peasy.
Easy peasy.
One day, 6 seasons.
Well, tell us if you liked it. Tell us who your favorite character, obviously Alucard. Besides him, tell us who your second favorite character is.
Alucard.
And then tell us your third favorite character. That can't be Alucard.
Shit.
I mean, I do like Richter. I mean, aesthetically, I like Maria a lot.
Maria, I really love.
I think I would
But I
do.
do like Warlock a lot as well. Guy's bro.
I would do
I like Juiced.
Alucard, Richter, Maria. Top 3.
Mine would be Alucard, and then Maria.
And his dad. You're right.
And then Dracula. Yeah, he's my favorite. He wasn't in the season.
He's not in here, but
Who's my favorite?
My favorite is Alucard, and then that one chick from last season.
That nice girl.
Yeah, that had a slave dude. Yeah, she was pretty top tier. Never forget.
And then Dracula.
And then Dracula. Yeah.
Tell us your favorite 3. Have a good one.
peace.
What's her name?